So guys, I have this video here from my boy Hog. You know that Hog is my boy. I love him, and it is called PoE2 the Third Edict League Launch. Hog's experience. Let's see what Hog has to say in here, dude.
Path to Exile 2 first official league launch was a complete and utter shit show. Come on, you piece of junk.
Okay, so from that intro we can identify that he's not liking it. So for the third time in a row, he's not liking the PoE2 launch. Like, since he's my boy, I watch his videos. I think that PoE2 is just not the game for Hog, brother. Like, he doesn't like the game, and there is nothing wrong with that, obviously. It is just not his game, dude. Dude, over 60% of you are not subscribed. Why are you like this? Just click the sub button, dude. It is quick, it is easy, it is free. You get content, I get a sub, win-win situation. Just click the sub button, my dude.
So for some reason, I don't really understand. And again, this whole video is just my experience with yesterday. Yours might have differed. If it did, okay. If it didn't, okay. For some reason, I can never get this any update since December, since Path to Exile 2 launched, any update since that's happened, or any league or whatever. I can't get it to update in a timely fashion. Everybody else, when I say that, I mean all the other streamers, everybody else's shit updates, they're in the queue and everything. I leave my fucking Steam open all day. And it literally takes forever. And I have a gig up and down, and it's not my internet, I have fiber. No other game has this issue.
I also have 1 gig up and down with fiber, but I don't use Steam. I use the official launcher for Path of Exile. And for me, it was also a cheat show to download the game. In fact, I had to try like 6 or 7 times because it crashed. Like, you know that you open the little window and it says that you are downloading, and the little window gave me an error and it crashed, and I had to try again, and it gave me an error again, and I had to try again, and it downloaded like 2, 3, 4 gigs, and then it went down. But thank God those 2, 3 gigs were already downloaded, so it continued. So every time I want a little further and a little further and a little further. So I got into the queue late because of that shit.
Last Epoch League Launch. Big update. Steam blazed through it at the speed of sound. 550 megabytes per second. Boom. But over here, it gets 336, and it'll shoot up to 136, and it'll go back down to 2. But no other game has that issue. So, you know, it's a little, I don't understand that. I'm not trying to point fingers specifically. I just don't understand why every time that I go to play a season or update PoE2, I get locked out, or it takes a month of Sundays to get in there. Okay, so we finally get in the game, and we beat the first boss, go into town. 10 times. 10. Failed to instance. Failed to connect to instance. 10 times.
Oh, that happens to me too, bro. That happened to me when I was trying to enter the Grelwood. It was like the only way I could continue forward was thanks to someone in my chat that told me, brother, reset the instance, but not through the map, but by clicking directly over the door where you are standing and you are seeing like the light coming, clicking there and reset the instance. And that was the only way I could continue, because I think I tried over 10 times and now my game was completely stuck. I couldn't continue at all. And the only way I could continue by entering the Grelwood was doing that, clicking the actual portal, the door, and resetting the instance to a new instance. Crazy shit, dude.
Times. That was through multiple server resets, a game reset, different. We went on California server, we went on Texas server, we went on
same.
Fucking,
I did all of that too.
What's the other server you can go on? Somewhere up north. We went on like 4 different servers. Still couldn't connect to the instance. And I was ready to quit right there, but I didn't. That's already, like, let's just real talk here, like that, to me, it's unacceptable. And if we look at Steam charts, like, there were more people on release, so it's not that the servers were overloaded, like, that's not an excuse. It's the servers should be able to handle this. So, why can Last Epoch have a completely smooth as a sewing machine?
I will say this, in terms of connection afterwards, like with ping, and getting random disconnects or whatever, at least my experience was fine. The two problems that I experienced were these two that I am saying. When downloaded the game, so I got in the queue late, and after I was in, entering the Grailwood was a pain in the ass. But after I saw entering the Grailwood, everything went smooth. No lag, no ping, no disconnections, just playing fluidly. So I think that for having a free weekend where we are getting a lot of players, I think it was a good launch. It was a good launch in those terms. The complaint that I do have, and I think Hog is going to talk about this, is with the optimization of the game. A lot of people have problem with this, and me too. The performance is lower than before, in my opinion. Like, it is demanding more from your game. Dude, even in the main screen when you are on queue, like the game is not doing anything. You are sitting on queue. It was taking away 50% CPU. That is insane, brother. And the loading screens are also longer, in my opinion. I have an M2 SSD that is fast as fuck, and the loading screen takes a while. More than before, in my opinion. The optimization is something that went down. I guess he will go into the gameplay stuff later, or at least for me, the game itself is good, you know.
Season launch. And we can't have that over here. It's so frustrating. It just sets the tone for the game immediately. You're like, okay. So again, it's just going to be about starting the starting the season. My initial thoughts. I mean, the game's still, yeah, there's sprint, but the game's still slow. And sorry, but sprint's dog shit. If you stand in town or you stand in the world, when you're walking, you can move your cursor like this, and the character will immediately rotate, do a 90-degree turn. It will pivot on a dime and turn around. You can't do that with sprint. If you try to do that with sprint, you will do a big U.
I do see what he's saying, and it would feel great if you could just course correct, like he's saying, by turning around. But I think they are doing it intentionally as a way of trying to balance out the sprint to not be super incredibly OP, because it is already OP how it is. So I think they are balancing out so it is not completely OP with that. And also because remember that they like that things feel real, and when you are running fast, it is harder to turn around, right? So I think that is why they are doing it that way. But I also agree that it will feel great to not get stuck in every single passageway, in every single wall, in every single pot, because even pots on the floor fucking stop you. I also agree that it feels bad to hit everything and stop the sprinting. I do think it makes sense that they don't allow you to turn fast. Okay, I can take that, GG. But why do I have to get stuck on everything? But I like sprinting. Like, the only thing that I don't like about sprinting is that, and I probably add on the different boat that a lot of people on this one. I know that a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this one. But I think sprinting should be disabled in bosses. That you should not be able to sprint in bosses. There are a lot of mechanics in bosses that are completely trivialized because you can sprint. For example, in Act 2, that boss, I don't remember the name. It is like has a flamethrower. It is the Faridun boss when you are going to free the girl that takes you to the Traitor's Passage. There is a mechanic where she follows you around throwing hits. If she hits you, it hits really big damage, can kill you right there, one shot. The idea is running from her. With the sprinting, you trivialize the whole mechanic, and it is the most dangerous mechanic of the fight. That is just one example. So I think because bosses were not designed, these bosses were not designed with a sprinting idea in mind. They were designed for the normal running. What is easier? Going and rework every boss in the game because they were not designed with a sprinting in mind, or just disabling sprinting in bosses? The second one is easy. But I understand that people are liking sprinting and now taking it away from them, even if it is a little bit, might feel bad. But I think that people also wanted the sprinting just for the backtracking and the open maps or whatever. They don't care about bosses that much, I think, because we want to fight the bosses. So let's see what happens. I have a Ryzen 7 9800, and I have some trouble sometimes loading, and my PC still wants to get engine in towns. That is insane, brother. The game is poorly optimized, and it requires a lot from your PC. That is crazy. They could definitely turn down the inertia a bit and not make you get stunned when you run into a wall, for sure. Exactly. I think that. But it also makes sense that you have some inertia because you are running faster, right? I just press dodge again to do a 90. And I play WSC. Yes, I play WSC too. And yes, you can do the roll again, but do it. That's why turning on movement speed globally is something they don't want to do. They have to go back and rework all enemies' bosses. Exactly.
Even if you try to like come around the right-hand turn, you can't make that turn accurate. You can't like, oh, I gotta go right. Or if the, the fog of war clears up, you gotta make that right-hand turn. It's too slow. So when you go like, oh shit, I need to turn, you start doing this and you end up hitting the wall or some shit. It's so fucking aggravating. Not to mention getting knocked on your ass all the time, whatever. But that's, that could be a skill issue. But just the sprint itself was engineered. It's all the friction. That's like the common theme of all of this shit is all the fucking engineered friction that's put in. I'm going to really try not to get worked up about this. They could have very easily made the sprint so we could turn on a dime and like, get to where we need to go. But they made it so that using the sprint's got to have a downside. Everything that you do in this game has a downside. And you know what? That's really annoying. I mean, this is why I wanted to be very cautious when everybody was saying that the game was fixed. The game's fixed. You can use multiple support gems and things. Like, the game's not fixed. It's still a kite simulator. You're still getting over.
It is not fixed because it was never broken. I love Path of Exile 2. I think the game is awesome. Does it have issues? Of course, a lot. I have tons of videos discussing the issues Path of Exile has. And it still has them. But it is not like, oh, let's fix it because it is broken. The game is awesome. It needs improvements. Let's say it that way. It needs improvements.
Run, you're still having to backpedal. You're still running out of fucking flash charges where you have to open a town portal and go back to town if you're not hitting a checkpoint thing to reset your charge.
You didn't say something really important, Hawk. That is the biggest problem right now in Path of Exile 2. When you TP to town to refill your flasks, do they refill automatically? No. You have to click the fucking well. Why, in the year of our Lord, 2025, do I need to click the well? Just make it automatic, brother. I TP to town. Path of Exile 1 is like this. It is your game. Why do I have to click the well, dude? Just refill that shit, brother. Dude, the well is the biggest problem in Path of Exile 2. Okay, rant over.
You're still having to go hit the well to go back into town. It feels
okay, he said it.
A lot like the early days of Diablo IV, where they put a bunch of chores and bullshit in the game to keep you in the game and artificially limit your speed.
Also, talking about the little chores, I always do this. I know that a lot of people don't do this and they don't care to do it, but I do it. That is the intention that GGG has for you to play the game, but it is annoying to do all the little steps. I get to town and I have this, so I have to identify. I click the hooded one. Okay, I identified. Now I am going to sell the bullshit. This flask, let's sell the bullshit. But this is a rare, so I am going to sell to disenchant the rare. So we disenchant the rare. So I sold and disenchanted. But am I over? No, I am not over. Now I have to salvage this shit. So I have to go all the way around here to the salvage vent and salvage this shit. So I wasted all that time doing all that shit that could be just one step. And those are the micro tasks that you have to do all the time. Well, you don't have to. A lot of people skip them because they are annoying. I do them because I want the resources. But yes, it is every time you go to town, pim pum pam, pim pum pam, pim pum pam, brother.
There is absolutely no reason why the zones are this big. There's absolutely no reason why when I leave and come back into that portal that the whole fucking area resets and I've got to clear that whole area again. There's no reason why if I get lost and can't find my way around for an hour that there's some kind of indicator or some kind of hint to help me get the fuck out of the area. So I've said it for a while, and I'm gonna say it again. I have a hard time believing that Jonathan plays this game. I really would love to see him play the game. Like, please teach us how to play the game, because I've been playing ARPG since year 2000, and I'm really confused. You know, from guys that really love Diablo 2, when this was supposed to be the spiritual successor or whatever. I ain't feeling it. I don't understand. Diablo 2 is fast. This feels the game feels like monsters have more HP. The game feels a little more difficult. And again, in Act 1, you're getting your shithole pushed in. And there should be some difficulty, and there should be some, you know, some resistance and all, but I found myself, like, when I'm doing one of these monk attacks, to like land the attack and then dodge roll back so I don't get hit. I know some people aren't having gearing issues. I'm still same complaints with that. I'm still getting the garbage ass blues. Now keep in mind, we're still in early in game. I've just been getting my shit pushed in. It's probably.
I find that the biggest problem in terms of finding equipment in the campaign is the weapons, basically. Not that much for the rest of your gear, to be honest. I find good enough gear for the rest of my gear. You can craft a little bit with your transmutations and your regards and your alchemies. It is fine. But keeping up with your weapon is what gets you behind, to be honest. But again, I think this game is just not for Hog, brother. And that is cool. That is fine, brother. Because I do like the campaign. I like the pacing of the campaign. I like the difficulty of the campaign. I think that this game just is aiming for something very specific during the campaign that is not the same as other ARPGs. And if you don't buy with it, you don't buy with it, you know. I think it is like that, because to me the fact that Act 1 is not a pushover because it is Act 1 and it has to be easy. I like that fact that you have to play the fucking game. I like that Count Geonor is a difficult boss that a lot of new players find it difficult to beat it. I think that is cool. Maybe some will say, well, but it is too difficult and players bounce back from the game. Maybe a little tuning can benefit us. Maybe. But when everything is whatever, nothing is meaningful. And I will compare it with PoE itself. PoE 1, the campaign is whatever. There is no challenge in the PoE 1 campaign. And nobody likes it. Everybody feels like it is a chore. You just do it to get to the end game, which is the cool part. Nothing is meaningful in the campaign in PoE 1. I come from D4. I stopped playing. It's just cookie clicker. Brother, I also started with D4 and then I went to PoE 2, and yes, PoE 2 destroys Diablo 4. It's just not as PoE 1. You need to do the mechanic. Exactly. People in PoE 1 like to face tank shit and just hit and kill shit. That is not how PoE 2 works, and I love that it's different. The PoE 1 shit is also cool, but we will have one league for PoE 1. Right now, it is the moment for PoE 2. Bro, if you're not playing the die, you're gonna struggle. I played Huntress and I killed Count Geonor first try. A lot of the other motherfucker first try. Like, yeah, you do less damage. Yes, it is melee. Yes, it is a little bit more annoying. Yes, you have to be more careful, but it is fun, dude. Doing the thing is fun. Trying to find solve the problems that the game is presenting you. That is the fun part. If everything is just what are we doing? What are we doing in here? I don't like when things are brain dead, no challenge, because I am not engaging my brain in anything. At that point, I could just watch a TV show. If I am not going to do anything, I watch a TV show. The point of a game is interacting with the fucking game.
It's probably the most unfun ARPG I've ever played. Like, sorry to say that.
That is a strong statement.
Maybe it'll get different today. You know, we're going to keep pushing through and see if we can.
And for me, it is the other way around. This is why you see that there is a spectrum in tastes. This is my favorite ARPG. This is my favorite ARPG, brother. And I have played D2, D3, D1, D4. PoE 1. I defeated all Uber bosses and I love PoE 1. I played No Rest for the Wicked. I played Last Epoch. PoE 2 is my favorite ARPG. PoE 1 is my favorite ARPG. I am trying to think if there is another one that I like more. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, I fell in love with the whole PoE franchise thanks to PoE 2. Again, lots of complaints about the game. Lots of things that can be improved. But it is, for me personally, not even close to the most boring ARPG I have ever played. But I can see how it can be that way for other people. We know that, you have... I don't know how do you say this in English, but there is like a common
I just want
phrase.
to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
In Spanish, we have a saying that says entre gustos y colores, which is like between likes and tastes, something like that. Which is basically that everybody has different tastes and likes, right? I love PoE 2, but I understand how I can see why there are things in the game that are frustrating for some people that like other types of games, you know? And again, I don't want any pussy bitch to misrepresent this. Hog is my brother, my boy. He just doesn't like the game, dude. His opinion, awesome.
Work through the pain. I will say it does feel better than 0.2 release. That's not saying much though. I haven't like rage quit yet. There's been a couple of people that have already. But this is why I said to y'all, we need to play the game before we go say the game's saved. What I'm noticing is the same issues still exist. Now, this is early game. Same issues still exist from the early game than did before. The support gems that have access to, like everything has a negative to the point where I just will use only one thing. Like I sat there yesterday, stared at my support gems and was like, these all have a fucking negative that I just would rather not even have a support gem at this point. Like every single solitary thing. Like
this is one that I am completely 100% with him. In fact, I have like a 40-minute video where I crash out insanely. I was yelling mad. I was molding at the support gems. Because there are support gems where you have to do like 4 different conditionals to accomplish what the support gem is supposed to do. And then when you finally get it, it is not worth it. It sucks. So you have 5 layers of conditionals for one thing that sucks dick. That is why we are always using primal armaments that is a 25% increase in damage and point. Done. People like that. And yes, I know it is boring. It is cooler to have support gems that have effects. But brother, then create support gems with effects and not a support gem that if the mob is ignited and you heavy stun them, then you get a 2-second buff that you can then use on another skill. Motherfucker, that is too much. I don't want to do that. Nobody wants to do that. You know, in this point, I agree completely. He just baseline doesn't like the game. And that is fine. I don't like shooters. I can see why people find Battlefield 6 fun. I don't want to play it. That is not my jam. I recognize it is not my thing, you know. And I commend him for trying. He's really trying to get into the game. He has played every season. But it is just not his thing, you know.
here you go, hog. Here's fucking grandma's chicken pot pie. It's delicious. However, it's full of thumbtacks. So when you take a bite of it, it's going to give you nourishment, but it's going to pierce the top of your fucking mouth. Or you can have daddy's special brownies. You can eat the special brownies and get fucked up, but you're going to have diarrhea for 3 days. Which one is it? Like, that's what it feels like when you play this game. There's never just take this and be a god for 5 minutes. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's very frustrating. I already have a dopamine deficiency in my brain as it is. That's why I play these games. And here lately, not just PoE 2, but even in the last Epoch season that we just had, I feel like the dopamine is just, they just refuse to give. I get dopamine from drops personally. I get dopamine from building a fucking powerful character. I don't get dopamine from dodge rolling back and dodging a fucking white mob, a fucking skeleton at level 11. I shouldn't have to dodge roll a skeleton at level 11. Just
I understand this, and I know that this is not what he's saying, but he's talking about getting dopamine from things. I get dopamine when I kill a hard boss. Let's say let's use Count Geonor as an example. First time ever playing the game, you get to Count Geonor, and he kills you 3 times, 4 times even, and you go in the 5th time, and you finally dodge mechanics, you finally struggle around, and boom, you make it. With the little last bit of your life, you make it. You finally destroy Count Geonor. At that moment, that is the hugest rush of dopamine I can get, dude. That is why I am here. That is what I like. Beating the challenge. That is why I am here. Dude, my most played game ever is Dota 2. You know what is the highest rush and the reason why I play Dota 2? The coolest thing that you can do. This is a PvP game, so you are beating people, and that is cool. Like getting to win over other real players and not just a bot that is programmed to get defeated. When you make a comeback, you are losing. They think they have you destroyed, and you muster your last few strength, and you make a comeback, and you win. That is the biggest feeling in all the gaming in all my life, playing games, making that in Dota 2. I don't know if you guys have played it, but there is something called mega creeps, that when they do mega creeps to you, you basically lost the game. Coming back from mega creeps is the best feeling in gaming that I have ever had in my life. Killing bosses is something akin to that. It is similar to that. Beating a boss that you were struggling with, finally I killed this motherfucker, is a good dopamine rush. Now, I identified that this has a limit. That is why I said at the start, 1, 2, 3, even 4 times. But when it gets to, I have died to this motherfucker 25 times. Now, it is not, when you finally kill him, it is not a dopamine rush that I finally did it. It is a relief. Finally, I killed this motherfucker. Because you are no longer having fun. So, there is a balance that has to be hit in there in terms of difficulty.
I almost found myself to the point also with the resource, and I get a lot of this can be negated by items. Because like, it's almost why I hate doing these kind of videos about like what I feel, because then there's so much just pure garbage that comes in the comments about like, you know, even though a lot of people are talking about the game's not, you know, the game is not fun. It's a skill issue for me, or I need to play.
I was going to tell you that, Hawk. There are people that are going to 100% write to you in the comments, and I haven't seen the comments, but I know that if you go long enough, you will find a comment that is going to tell you you are mad because bad, or this is all your complaints are skill issues, or whatever. There is always someone that says that. People always say this to me, for example, in WoW, even though I was doing WoW's hardest content, mythic rating and high keys, people were still saying to me, like, no, a skill issue. It is not a skill issue. The system sucks. When something sucks, it sucks. I am not saying that it is like that in PoE. I like PoE. But I am saying that sometimes not everything is a skill issue. Having to overcome a bad system is not a skill. It is just overcoming a bad system, you know.
Play this specific build to do this, or, you know, this is not here.
Exactly. This is one. So, is playing lightning arrow they die a skill? No, that is not a skill. You are just doing the meta shit that they told you to do. That doesn't involve a skill.
Or you're entitled because you want to hand out, like, all of that's just copium dismissive. Like, we're talking about how I feel and how my experience was playing the game. So if you're going to say that shit in the comments, just save it. Because,
but what I wanted to say in general is, yes, there are some times that there is a skill issue, but there are some times that the, in quotes, a skill issue highlights some underlying problem with the game itself. And there are some gatekeeping players that think that handling this bad design is a skill issue. I am not saying PoE 2 is a case of that. In some cases inside the game, there are opportunities where it is and there are opportunities where it isn't, you know. But I am saying that I generally don't like the skill issue argument. But sometimes I use it myself if it is too obvious that it is a skill issue, you know. But here, Hog is giving us his opinion of the whole game. For example, is it a skill issue that the game crashes? No. No way in hell.
If you had a different experience, that's great. This is my experience with it. It was not fun. So but we hadn't quit. We're going to persevere today. See if we can maybe just start another character. That's probably where I feel like we got baited into Monk. And now that I'm thinking about that, it brings me to another thing. Like, I hate the combos. And this is why I've been saying this like 12 times. I wish they would come out and say who the game is made for.
I will tell you something, Hog. You are not alone. Everybody hates the combos. And I will tell you why. Today I discovered that combos are actually kind of cool when they are cool combos that they design to not be clunky. With this character, I am doing a cool combo. You go rake, disengage back, and go back in with Blood Hunt. This is supposed to dash to the target, but there is no target, right? So it is a fast combo that makes sense, and it is not clunky, and you can do it fast. Good combo. The problem is that this is the only combo in the game that I have played that functions like that. I like this combo. The problem is that the other combos are slow, are clunky, and the payoff sucks. You do all this shit, and the damage output you get from doing it sucks. So people prefer to just do one skill. It is faster, it is easier, and gets the job done. So if you want us to play combos, I am not against it, because I saw the light that this combo is really fucking cool. But make the combos like this then, that they are fun to play, they are fast to perform, and they give you a good reward, because this combo does actual damage, you know. I know that for some players, this will also create a problem that it is, yes, but you are doing a combo that GG intended for you to use. You are not creating a new combo. We want to create new combos. And creating new combos make things clunkier. And that is a challenge for GG if they have to make several skills combo with different skills. At that point, if it is too hard, then abandon the philosophy of wanting to do combos, right? But if every combo was like this one, I would be happy. But I know that some people wouldn't like it because it is a combo that is engineered by GG.
Because everything's relying on combos, or you got to do this to get combos. Like, I don't want to do combos. If you like doing combos, that's fine. I don't like doing combos. I don't like turn-based games. If you like turn-based games, that's great. I don't like turn-based games. I don't like doing combos. I don't like playing minions. Those are two things I don't like doing in an ARPG.
Base, fuck minions. All my homies hate minions.
Combos and minions. I like blasting and getting loot. That's what's fun. And if those two things, if it's opposite, then the game's just not going to be for me. So that's why I wish they would come out and say
exactly. He knows. He knows, bro. He knows. The game is just not for me.
Game is a wannabe Souls, feels like, but we want some of the other guys to play to still give us supporter packs. Like, it's very confusing. Are you making a game for ARPG, traditional ARPG enjoyer? No. Or are you making this for the Souls enjoyer? But if they're making it for the Souls enjoyer, that they missed the mark, because the Souls enjoyers think it's a fucking trash game.
He's going for a place in the middle, more towards the ARPG, but with a little bit of Souls-likes. Because it is not a Souls-like item. Let's get it out there, guys. PoE 2 is not a Souls-like. It has some elements of a Souls-like games, but it is not a Souls-like. It is more towards an ARPG, but it wants to live somewhere in the middle. And I commend that trying. They are trying to do something new, different from other ARPGs. Do we want the same game we have been playing? Like, that is why Diablo 4 sucks. They are doing Diablo 3 again. And Last Epoch is a cool game, but it is again the same thing. And we already have PoE 1. Do we need another one? PoE 1 is awesome. And if I want that, I can play PoE 1, and I will. I played 326 and it was awesome. And when 327 comes, I will play it because the game is awesome. But I have that game already. I know that when PoE 2 launched, PoE 1 people were mad because they weren't getting leaks. And I agree with that. But now we are getting leaks. So we can go and play PoE 1. Do we really need another one of those? I commend them for trying to create a whole. This is a new genre. This is a new world. We are trying to go with something different in here. And yes, it won't be for everybody, and that's fine. That's cool. But it will also be for some people like me. I love it.
If you make it for the RPG enjoyer, there's too much friction and too much frustration and not enough enjoyment in the game for a lot of us. So what the fuck? Here's my feedback. Here's what make the game, to me, feel a hell of a lot better, okay? Scale down the size of the areas. It is completely unnecessary for these areas to be this big. It is completely unnecessary for a tomb that we're looking for a fucking boss to fight or whatever. It's completely unnecessary for a tomb to be the same size as the fucking world that we just walked out of to get into the tomb. A tomb is a tomb, not a vast, besides the fucking pyramids in Egypt. Like, that aside, a tomb is a small area. So, like, it's little frustrations like that. Tune it down and give us more move speed and turn the fucking monster move speed down. It's not fun at level 10 having 7,000 dicks popping you in the face and having a 1 second fucking animation cast time where you've got to spin through the air to be immersive and cool, but you can't get the attack off because you get interrupted in the middle of it because you got to dodge roll back. That's not fun gameplay. That's the gameplay that I experienced. Hopefully we can change that again today or try something else. But that's not fun gameplay to me. I would say delete that and try something else. Go the other way. I know this is a vision thing and like it just reeks of JR just like trying to give compromises like with the sprint. There's no reason the sprint has to knock us on our ass. Each and every one of y'all know that. There's no reason for that shit. Nobody's exploiting this to run through the map. Like the monster's already outrageous. Now it could be different in the end game, but my experience is there's no reason for that shit. I don't even find myself using it that much.
I do think that it is fine that they knock you down because yes, people would completely ignore a lot of stuff if they could just sprint by, and they don't want people doing that. you can get into a philosophical argument saying what is the problem with people skipping monsters, and that is another conversation. But if the intention is for people to not skip the whole zone, we are already skipping some monsters. But if you don't want to skip the whole zone, you have to put this in place because if not, people are just going to sprint the whole fucking map, not fight one monster ever, and what are we doing at that point, you know? So I agree with the knockdown.
Because it's so fucking dog shit. If you could turn quick on a dime and shit, yeah. But they engineer all of this friction in here that really engineers all the fun out of the game. And don't come at me and say, Hog doesn't like a fun game. Hog doesn't like a difficult game. If there's any kind of difficulty whatsoever, Hog won't play it. Been playing fucking Escape from Tarkov. So we can throw that out the window. It's an extremely difficult game. A lot of people won't play it. So it's not about difficulty. It's not about any of that. It's just, I can't even put my finger on it. It's slow. It's boring. Like my chat was full of just, oh, this is so boring. Like why? Like even playing the game, they're like, it's so boring. I'm like, I know. It's because the zones are too big and it's a combo city. I feel like I'm back in Kung.
It is weird. I feel like I am in 0.2 again, and it happened to me in 0.2, and I am afraid of it, to be honest, because I feel a little bit out of touch or disconnected from the community in a way. 0.2, I enjoyed the launch, and people were saying that in 0.2 launch that it was bad. And in 0.3, I am seeing again a lot of people saying that they don't like it, and I am again enjoying it. So it is weird, and I think this will continue to happen every single league because people just don't like the power you have at the start of the campaign where you are powerless and you have to get back up. They just don't like that start for some reason, dude. And I love it. I like it, but the majority of the people appear to not like it. So while it is like that, I think that every big start is going to be this way. The first few days, people are going to complain until they are max level and they do the broken builds, and then they are happy again. I think it is going to be like that. But again, I feel a little bit out of touch sometimes because if the whole community is feeling one way and I am feeling another, I think, what am I not seeing, you know? Because if I am a content creator, I have to resonate with the community, with the content I create. So sometimes I think, what am I missing? You know,
Kung Fu class, but everything is combo based. And if you're not doing a combo, you're not doing damage. And even at level 6, you're having to consume fucking power charges to boost up. Like, God damn it, I'm just trying to start the game and build my shit up. Can we not worry about consuming power charges at level fucking 6 or 10?
I have to say that I dislike how charges work in PoE2. I think that they want you to generate a lot of charges but at the same time, they don't want to give you the charges, and they take away the charges for any fucking bullshit. It is like you are putting too much power into the charges, and then since they are powerful, you don't want to give me the charges. What are we doing in here? It is annoying. If you want me to use the charges, give me the charges. If you think the power they give is too high, reduce the power. But if you're going to create a system, let me use the system. I'll be honest with these guys, completely honest. You know, I've been saying I like the game. The whole charges systems, for the three of them, Endurance, Power, and Frenzy, sucks dick. The whole thing sucks. It is much better in PoE1, by the way.
Y'all don't think the game was made for me. I think I'm too stupid to play the game. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe they'll fix it, but it's just got a very, I don't know. I feel like it's not for me. I mean, I'm going to keep trying it, but my God.
And I commend him from that, dude. He really wants to like the game, dude. He really wants to like the game, and that is cool, brother. He is a part of Exile player. He wants to like the game. It is just not for him, dude, and that is fine.
Odd. I mean, it's gotten a little bit better, but I mean, putting salt on a shit sandwich, it's still not the best. I really wish we could get back to what makes the game fun. And you know, a lot of people are going to say go back and play PoE1. Well, I hate to tell y'all, like, this isn't a totally different game. A lot of the shit from PoE1 is here. The thing that's different is the combat. And just to me, that combat just doesn't feel good. And that's a common complaint. People want to blast through white mobs. I mean, to me, you shouldn't have to dodge roll white mob. You should kill it. You play PoE1 and I wasn't insta-killing white mobs. Everyone was shitting on me saying this is the shittiest build I've ever seen. Call Quinn. But now we want to be immersive on every single solitary white monster that comes with us and dodge roll back and kite and do all this shit. I'm good. So again, let me get off here, stop rambling. I need to get on stream. Come join me on stream if you want to see my experience with it. I've tried to be fair with it, but man, it's just not hitting right now. So we'll try a new character and see if that will fix anything. But second I kind of get through and get to experience the trade, I guess I did solo self-found this time. We'll make a new character. We won't do trade. We won't do solo self-found. We'll do trade so we can interact with the new trade and tell you how I feel about that. But overall, yesterday was a big L. I'm sorry. It was not a good launch at all. I couldn't get in the game. It took forever. Like a bunch of people were having instance drops and all this stuff. And at this point, there's really no excuse for that. Like, get it together. I mean, you've had plenty of time to get that shit together, and it's literally all the time. It's not even the PoE2 stuff like happens PoE1 too. Like, it's so frustrating. Like, come on. I get it's early access, all of that, but you know, whatever. Anyway, see y'all later. Come see me on stream. Like and subscribe if you ain't done so. See you next time.
Hey, dude, love the video, Hawk. Thank you so much for your feedback, brother. It is good to listen to all the feedback, and I agree with a lot of his points. The only thing is that I like the game and I am having fun, but he said a lot of things in here that should be addressed in the game, to be honest. So, hey, great video, Hog, as always. Thank you so much, my brother. What do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I a clown? Am I a genius? Let me know everything in the comments below. I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. Also, remember to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are awesome. God bless ya. And remember, don't be afraid ever, because this is just a ride.